to recap where we left last week, the first Namaka Prashna is an address to Shiva as a Tat. That means you, the Ishvara. Then the Chamaka Prashna is I, or in the Vedantic concept, Tvam. So this is the combination. So this Tvam, that means the yogi, has to undertake a sadhana, a practice, to merge with the Tat. What is the process? The process is having those utensils, resources, ghee and other puja samagris, so that he can do yajnarthaya, for the sake of yajna, can do Ishvara Pranidhana. So for the sake of Ishvara Pranidhana, that means for the sake of worship of Ishvara, you need yajna. For by whom? By Tvam. This Tvam, in the process of worship of Ishvara, performs yajna, and in this yajna he is trying to do the worship of Ishvara so that he can become one with Tat. So therefore he takes up japa. Japa is a repetition of a mantra till such time it enters into the very being of the prayer, of the person who is praying. So because first time in first iteration we will be only concentrating on the word, then we will be struggling with the word, then we will struggle with the swara, right? Then we will struggle with the meaning. Then after that we will be again, even though if we know the meaning, when we are chanting we are still focusing on the words and the swaras and the flow. So when does it become really the Ishvara Pranidhana? When I know the mantra, I know the swara, I chant the swara properly, and as I am chanting, all the meanings of the mantras reveal itself to me. It must just flow like that. So when that happens, that japa will morph into, will result into Tadartha Bhavanam, as Patanjali Maharshi says, Tad Japaha Tadartha Bhavanam. So what artha are we talking about? Tat Artha Bhavanam, that is experiencing that particular artha. So in each Shastra we have got to interpret it in the context. So in the context of Rudradhyaya, what artha are we looking at? We are looking at only Abhyudaya artha. That means we are only looking at Dharma, Artha, Kama. So, Dharma, Artha, Kama sadhana is possible by means of Upasana. That means by means of worship. So, Abhyudayat, by meditating on Shiva and then knowing the meaning of the mantras and using the right ingredients, performing the yajna, a person gets dharmartha kama. When dharmartha kama is obtained and a person is satisfied, he is also trained in the process to get satisfied. Otherwise, normally, there is no satisfaction, because atrapti karatvam is one of the characteristics of all acquisitions. So we will actually then grow into a glimpse. The meditator will get a glimpse of the Parama Purushartha, or the possibility of liberation. This we saw in the Shanchame Anuvaka. By the time you come to Shanchame Anuvaka, you will have already got a little glimpse of that shining light of what the joy of liberation is there, and what is the power of discovering that Nishreyasa Artha. The beauty is when any time you get the perception of a higher, then we give up the lower. Isn't it? So first of all we must have a lower. If we don't have lower, what is there to give up? So we will have something lower, And then you get a glimpse of the higher, and then you see that it is within your reach. At that point of time, a person gives up or tries to give up or slowly gives up what is lower. But still we cannot simply abandon what is lower also. Therefore, it is not like a bird, it is not like a bee which jumps from one flower to another flower. It is more like a caterpillar which is actually going on a leaf, and then what it does is it will look around and then it will find another leaf and it will slowly stretch itself into that leaf, and it will be on both that leaf. Part of its body will be hanging in the air, and then another part of the body will still be clinging to the previous leaf. So the mind of the sadhaka also will be like that. This is the reason why, even though Shanchame Anuvaka has given us a glimpse of Nishreyasa, in the fourth Anuvaka, again we'll go back and say, you give me this, you give me this. But then the attitude with which you go and ask is now different, is dramatically different. You will see the way in which you started off, Vajaschame, Prasavaschame, in the first Anuvaka, and the spirit with which you are asking in the fourth Anuvaka. You have got to read inside the text to discover the mood, the bhavana. So we are going to ask for 38 favors of Shiva in this Anuvaka. Starting from, I want nourishing food. We have already asked for nourishing food in Vajaschame, but here we are again asking for nourishing food. We have got to see why and what exactly is the difference in quality of what we are asking. We are asking for becoming a hospitable person, where you will receive a guest in your house with true inner joy. It is not just being socially conscious and say, this person is at my door and therefore I have got to show respect to him. And then that the relationship is valuable. There must be a true inner joy when we receive a guest at our door. We will ask for that here. And we will ask for such people who will come here, only good people, noble people to come and see us. Of course, at this stage, only noble people will come to your house. Because otherwise you are such a boring person. Because when you talk Vedanta all the time, when you talk Dharma all the time, who will come to your house? Now, when they come, how do they come? How long will they stay? And then where will they come? These are some of the things I discussed in the Bhagavata day before yesterday. Such noble people will come to our house only when in your house jnana is on the table. They can perceive that here is a place where there is contemplation or knowledge. Then only they will enter the premises because of their tapas. How long will they stay? They will stay, it seems, Bhagavata says, they will stay only for the time required for you to milk a cow. That's the only length of time they will stay. So what we have to do is, within that short period of time, we have got to make sure we learn whatever we can from them. So here we are asking, let me get such company. And then we are asking for such people with whom I want to share my prosperity. And therefore I want prosperity. Isn't it? And then it will move to our concern for the nation. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Therefore we ask for agriculture, we ask for arable land, trees with lot of fruits, herbs, gold, precious stones, all the grains and all the comforts of family life. So these are the 38 favors that we are going to ask for in this Urchame Anuvaka. a question arises, if we have got a glimpse of Brahmajnana, Brahmajnana always leads to slow withdrawal of sensory interest. So that means over a period of time a person becomes Sarvasanga Parityagi. That's the ultimate. But that Sangha Parityaga will slowly we will understand. How do we understand? First and foremost, we will stop being in the company who are just damdramyamanaha, as Kathopanishad says, who will be just blabbering and talking and gossiping and all that. Slowly you will get you will get averse to that. You may put up with it, but you will slowly get averse to that. And then, so at one point of time, a Brahmajnana is within our reach. We will reach that. For such a person, what is the reason for asking for material wealth? One is, we already said, that is so that we can share it with others, so that when noble people come to our home, they are taken good care of, so on and so forth. But we also have prarabdha karma. A Brahmajnani also has prarabdha karma, and as long as prarabdha karma is there and Videha Mukti, that is liberation after death, takes place, till such time he has got to maintain himself. And then maintain himself for what reason? Number one, he should not become a burden on society. He should not become a burden on the family. And therefore, we must all take good care of our body and mind. Why should we do exercise? Why should we do meditation? Why should we do pranayama? Why should we eat properly? It is because A, we don't become a burden on society. We don't become a burden on our own family. In short, Loka Kalyanartham. For the sake of doing good to the world, you have got to have all these comforts. And all these things you collect to share, so Loka Sangrahartham. So two reasons why Urchameyanavaka talks about all these material wealth. Loka Sangrahartham and Loka Kalyanartham. If we are not strong, we will definitely become a burden on society. If we are poor, then also we become burden on society. And therefore we also have to have a reasonably stable, good income. And we have to look at income as Mahalakshmi, who is giving us this opportunity for Loka Kalyana. See, that is why even a lot of people who don't understand Vedanta, they always say filthy lucre and then, don't go after money. Don't go after money with that emotional attachment. Isn't it? But that money is something you use it as a trustee, and so that it is channelized in a proper manner. If I take your call, then everybody else will get hung, unfortunately. So let us look at the various words. Urkshame. Urka here, different from Vajaha, is the essence of food that gives me strength. There in the first Anuvaka it was food. That means a solid food which you see. Or you can call it as the Sthula Anna. That is a gross rice. Gross Anna. Gross food. Here it is the subtle, what you derive out of good food. Sunruta. Sunruta means truth actually. So it is not just truthfulness. It is also non-hurtful speech. So please give me that ability for non-hurtful speech. Many of you are very familiar with the beautiful Subhashita. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam, priyancha nanratam bruyat, yesha dharma sanatanaha. Satyam bruyat. We should always speak the truth. Priyam bruyat, we should speak the truth that is pleasant. Priyanja nanratam bruyat, even if it is very pleasant to somebody, don't talk lie. Yesha dharma sanatana. This is the Sanatana dharma. There is also another beautiful Subhashita which looks at our psychology. Is there anyone who doesn't like to be addressed with sweetness? Is there anyone who doesn't like to be addressed with affection and friendship? Not even animals. Even animals are sensitive to how our body language. Even a dog will bark at us if we are not going with the right attitude. Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavaha. By using sweet words, all living beings are pleased. Tasmat, therefore, tadeva vaktavyam, speak sweetly. Vachane ka daridrata. Where is the dearth for words? So therefore, I mean, in many classes I say the same thing. Even if you are not feeling it in your heart, fake it till you make it. Isn't it? Sometimes, we have got to be kind to ourselves also. Probably I am not so mature enough to really feel good in the presence of others. But we can pretend. How will the other person know whether we are pretending or we are sincere? So some people talk, I am very frank and all that. It's not frankness, it is bluntness. So that is not acceptable according to our Shastra, however. In fact, some of you who may know Kannada, there is a saying, Ayya endare Swarga, Yelavo endare Naraka. Emaya ante Swargam, Emra ante. I can tell in Tamil also, which I know, Ennappa, Ennada. That difference is always there, isn't it? Jihvagre Lakshmihi vasati. Lakshmir vasati jihvagre. Jihvagre mitra bandhava. So it's all in how we speak. So this Anuvaka idealizes the three jewels on earth. There is another beautiful Subhajita. Prithivyam Trini Ratnani. Prithivyam Trini Ratnani. Jalam Annam Subhashitam. There are three extraordinary jewels in the creation. Water, food, and good speech. There is an addendum to that, the opposite. Mudhaihi Pashana Khandeshu Ratna Sanjna Pradiyate. Fools will look at pieces of stone and they call it as valuable jewels. Then the next prayer is done. It is give me payas. Payasa, payas, it means milk. Rasam. Rasam means any food that is crushed into a juice, like a sugarcane juice. Ghrita, very well known, which is ghee. Madhu, honey. Very interesting word next. Sagdhischame, sapitischame. Sagdhi means I want to have the right kind of company to sit with me and eat. Sapitischame means I want the right kind of people around me to share a drink. Not alcoholic drink, it is in a good nourishing drink. So how do we understand this combination? Let us all sit together and have a meal. And in this meal we will share our food and what we drink, payasa, some panaka, payasa, etc. So this is not a dinner party with a buffet. So what do we do in a dinner party with a buffet? We just put out all the food there, right? And then we have got the plates piled up. We'll say, okay, everybody please come and eat. So everybody will go at their own pace, and then they will pick up the plate, they will eat, they will go and make small groups, and they will be talking politics and stock market. Right? And then we say that we all had dinner together. So that is not what this mantra is asking. Sagdischame, sapitischame. In a family setting, with all my invitees, we all sit together to eat. When we were growing up, I'm sure many of you also know about this. In our homes, we would all sit in a line, and we would not just simply go and eat. Then we would all sit in a line. Everyone must be seated. Nobody starts eating until everything is served. Then the Yajamana, especially when we do puja and all that, the Yajamana will come, and then he declares by chanting a prayer. So usual chanting of the prayers we used to do was, you start with Gayatri Mantra, Annapurne Sudapurne Shankara Pranavallabhe Jnana Saubhagya Siddhyartham Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. This same shloka has got another version. Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham. Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham is inappropriate in Sagdischame, Sapitischame. Why? Because you don't want your guest to have renunciation of your food. Therefore, Jnana Saubhagya Siddhyartham Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. We also used to chant Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, then Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. One of the prayers we used to do, which is long forgotten but very beautiful prayer. Agastyam Vainateyam cha Shamim cha Badabanalam Ahara Parinamartham Smarami cha Gurukodaram. So you see why we were chanting this particular one? Because look at all these characters. Agastya. Agastya and a famous story of Agastya, Ilvala Vatapi story. Vainateya. Vainateya is Garuda, the eagle. Garuda, the mount of Vishnu, eats poisonous snakes and digests them. Agastya digests Rakshasas. And then Shami. Shami is a kind of tree. And then especially in the Navaratri days, on the Vijayadashami, we go and worship, because inside the Shami is Agni. So that Agni is Jataragni also. So because where is the digestive power for us? Inside. It is not, you are not seeing a conflagration. Just like that, Shami also has got Agni within itself. Badabanala means the fire that is in the ocean. Then Vrukodara is Bhima. You remember the story where when he was a child, he was fed poisonous sweets. So he can digest. Like that, not only me, but all my guests also may not have any problem with the food that we have served. Then what we used to do was, we used to chant all these things, and depending on whether you want to pray for Shiva or for Vishnu, in the Yajamana would say Bhojana Kale Shrikanta Smarane, or Bhojana Kale Gauri Shankara Smarane Hara Hara Mahadeva. He would declare. And when everybody will start eating, when he says Sarvatra Subhojyamastu, may all of you have good meal. When the Yajamana declares like that, everyone will actually do the Parishechana. Parishechana is drawing a thread of water around the plate, and then you would do Pranagnihotra. Pranagnihotra is Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha. 5 times you eat small morsels of rice, cooked rice. Now, then everybody eats, and then nobody eats too fast or too slow. Isn't it? Because a lot of people you have also seen, they will start eating, then they will just, and then they'll throw the plate,
Walk away.
and walk around. Isn't it? Look at the food culture, which we have lost, unfortunately. Here, Sagdhischame, Sapidhischame has got hidden meaning of so many layers, because Veda assumes you know all that and you are already practicing it. But now, on February, whatever day today is, I have to say this.
It's a rush to do something.
Fast food.
Isn't
Fast
it? It's just gluttony. It is not eating food. It is just gluttony. That is all. And then, so we would never get up until everybody has eaten. You remember? That's how we were growing up. You would never get up until everybody has finished, and then you would not be waiting impatiently either. So if you look at their faces, you don't see any impatience. They are very, very courteous, very kind, and because after all these things are over, all the people who have sit and shared our food would ultimately say, Annadata Sukhi Bhava. And you would also say, who gave, who ate, Harir Data, Harir Bhokta, Harir Annam Prajapatihi, Harihi Viprasharirastu, Bhungte Bhojayate Harihi. We would end with a prayer of Hari also. This is Sagdhischame, Sapidhischame. At least we will have this culture on record. We'll do the Shanti Mantra.